my church history. Or, as I like to phrase it, the last whooping I ever got. So, on this particular Sunday, it's so crazy that we actually had a service, and after the service, this particular Sunday, a whole lot of people was coming to the house. Now, in light of the fact that a whole lot of people were coming to the house, that means that my father had to make multiple trips with a car full of kids to take to the house and then come back to the church. Because at the time, the church we were at, or the building that we were in, was really only 10 minutes away from my house. So he was able to go, drop the kids off, come right back. So me and two other kids were actually waiting for him to come back and pick us up. Now, in this particular era, people actually, this was the era that people let their kids, stay in the car while they went to the store or whatever like that. You know what I mean? And it was also where, listen, there's three children, preteens or whatever like that. Back then, it's like, we really weren't gonna do anything that's like that savage or anything like that because we knew better. You know what I mean? So we really just, we kept it light. We were just gonna wait until my father came back to pick us up, go home, because everybody was over at the church. Well, in knowing that, we thought that it was gonna be a quick, hey, drop them off and come back. But after a while, we was like, what's taking this? What's taking them so long? So we got bored, and of course, this is the age before phones. So what did we have to do as kids? We played outside. We played tag. We played whatever was in our imagination. So this particular instance, we played tag. All right, but it wasn't the normal type of tag. No. So the way our building was shaped back then, it was like a huge rectangle, and there was a side door that was in the back of the church. Then of course there was the front door, for those of you that remember 1060, right, Worcester Street. Now, so we were going, through the back door, out the front door, through the back door, out the front door, and we were playing tag like that. So it was like one big enormous circle. So I actually was trying to catch this other one of the kids that was with us, and so what she did was, though, she locked the door. Now, when she locked the door and she's teasing me or whatever like that, so I'm banging on the door, and now this was a huge glass door, and it had the numbers 1060 on it. So she's banging on the door. She's like, and she's teasing me or whatever like that. I'm like, hey, I bang on the door. Let me in, right? Because I'm like, I'm gonna catch her. So what I do, though, is I'm like, hey, let me in. And so I kick the door. Now, I didn't think that I really kicked the door with much force. But what I saw, to my terror, was a huge spider web. It was like a huge spider web that came, and it was just like, it like etched in the glass. And so I realized, and I looked down to where I kicked the door, there was a huge crack. But it extended all the way up, so literally that whole door was broken. But it was like a one touch away from shattering. Like, that's how bad it was, right? And so I am in terror because I'm like, I already know what's gonna happen. So I'm all panicking, like, oh my god, oh my god, he's gonna. See, back then, right? If the cops asked you, hey, you want to go down to the station? You want us to call your father? For me back then it was, let's go to the station, because I ain't want this cat to know, and it was like, if I can be anywhere in the world at that time, but no, I was right here. I done shattered the church door, and I already knew what was gonna happen when my father came back. Well, he came back not too long afterward, and so the other person that he was with, that was in the car, that was in the front seat, he comes out and he says, all right, y'all, start explaining. And my father ain't even saying anything yet. And that's how I knew that it was like, that I was really gonna get it and that it was horrible, because he didn't say anything yet. See, a lot of times, if you ask him a question, it's gonna take him like a long time to respond. But he ain't even do that. No, he was quiet. And so then after a while, he said, well, get in the car, because you already know what's gonna happen. All right, Dad. So I get in the car, and I mean, it's so crazy. Every single light going home was green. It was like even the traffic lights was like, Chris gonna get a whooping. You know what I'm saying? Like even the traffic lights, like every inanimate object, you know what I'm saying? That on the way home, every inanimate object was against me, yo. You know what I'm saying? It's like your pedestrians was actually waiting for us to drive before they would cross the street, you know? There was like literally no way that the whole world just opened up. Just said, get him home so he can get a beating. And when I tell you, I mean, I was already in tears. Right. So I go, and when I say that I got whooped, it was one of them things where I was like, yo, I done had enough. And at this particular time, I believe I was 11. I didn't want no more after that. You know, it's like, you come to a point where it's like, yo, all right, you win. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be a good kid from now on. You win. All right, I ain't gonna do anymore. This was one of those times, and no, it wasn't the whooping in itself. It's what happened after, because like I said, mind you, literally the whole church was at the house, and so that means that people could hear what was happening through the walls, because the dining room is where everybody was eating, but on the other side of that wall was my parents' room where I was getting whooped. So I come out, it's like you have this incredible stuttering problem, like, you know what I'm saying? So he tells me to go downstairs after he's done. I'm like, Dad, go downstairs. And so I go downstairs, and I mean, part of the church is in the living room too, so it's like I gotta sort of try to have tunnel vision, because I know what everybody thinking over there. And I'm like, Dad, yeah, y'all know what happened, whatever, right? I get to the stairs in the basement, because, you know, I go downstairs and that's where all the kids are. And mind you, now I didn't know this, all the kids at the church was listening to me get whooped through the vents. And all of them was cracking up. I knew that was cracking up. And the reason why I knew that was cracking up, because as soon as I opened the door to the basement, I mean, I didn't even get halfway down the stairs and I can already hear. Right? So I don't even go all the way downstairs. I just sit right at the halfway point on the stairs. And then out of nowhere, yo, Chris, you got one. I mean, everybody, lifetime bonds was being formed at my expense. Like, you know what I'm saying? Off of me getting whooped. Like, happy memories was created off of my pain and misery. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I said, in that moment, I mean, I'm just like thinking to myself, you know, while all the noise in the background, I'm just like, this ain't never gonna happen again. I have learned my lesson for a lifetime. I am not gonna get whooped no more. I'm gonna be a good kid. And well, from then on, I never got a whooping ever again. I straightened up, you know. I straightened up. And it wasn't even a whooping in itself. It was it was like a perfect storm. Everybody was in the right place at the right time to influence me never to get a whooping again. Because and really what was the icing on the cake was all the laughter in the background. I still like even this day. Because Cass still be telling me, hey Chris, remember when you shattered that door? And I'm like, yeah. So that was my church kid story. Now you might say, hey, this wasn't even at church. Oh, it was at church. But every church kid has one of those stories, all right? Or most church kids have one of those stories where they got embarrassed in front of everybody. except for, in my case, the whole church just happened to be at my house. So that was my church kid story.